Those are all your inputs. When that cookie comes out, that's your output. Is it too dry? Is it falling apart? Did it burn? Is it undercooked? That is our measurement. And then we adjust before we create a new input.
But that's the problem, right? The recipe of chocolate cake is let's go buy the ingredients and put it in the oven and we'll have chocolate cake tonight. I think people get tripped up because you don't get to eat your chocolate cake until 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode, number 921, How to Dial Up Your Truth. Today, it is Strategy Saturday for episode number 922, 4 steps to achieving any goal. Alan is the framework person here, so we are going to let him lead the dance.
Before we jump into the framework, this is Strategy Saturday, which is my favorite of all the episodes that we do because I'm obsessed with frameworks and strategies. This is going to be something different. This is going to be a strategy on how to strategize. Ooh,
layers.
Interesting. A strategy on how to strategize. I call it systems thinking. We were on group coaching. Group 5 just graduated, and on our 5th session of the 6 sessions, we ended up taking them through this systems thinking paradigm. So everyone imagine up in front of them, and as a matter of fact, we will end up creating a digital asset for this, and we will put it as a link in the show notes below. So if you can download that and you're not driving, do that now. If you can't, download it after. All right, so in the upper left, there is input. So imagine there's a box with an arrow going into the left of the box. And next to the arrow going into the box, it says inputs. In the box, it says system. Out of the box, it says output. And then there's a line going from output down to the bottom right corner, all the way to the far left corner, and then back up to input. So it's a feedback loop. Now, in the bottom right corner is measure, and in the far left, bottom left corner is adjust. So 4 steps, super simple. Input into the system. You get an output from the system. Then you measure that output, then you adjust based on that. So to make this really practical, we have a team member, his name's Greg, who wants to lose 21 pounds in 21 weeks. If you're a listener of this show, I've talked about this before. But he's 2 weeks in right now, and I just had my call with him earlier, and I looked at his data, and as a matter of fact, Kev, we actually have a dashboard now for the NLU team members that are all in the same fitness tracker, Next Level Fitness Tracker. And we have our own dashboard, and Amy's doing it, Ron, myself, Alessandro, and Greg as of right now. Kev, we got to get you in there.
I have my own, but I'm happy to. Remember, you created one that I stole from Amy. I'm happy to jump in there with you guys.
Yeah, we gotta put yours in there for sure. Definitely. Okay. I looked at his data earlier. He's 2 weeks in, and I got really concerned. Now, it's interesting. He went from 220, and he wouldn't mind me sharing this, by the way. I've gotten permission in advance. He was at 221 pounds, and in 2 weeks, he's down to 212. Okay? Yeah. So that's 9 pounds. He decided, so I told him on our last call, I said, I think my guess is that at a 221-pound male, who exercises daily, you probably burn around 2,500 calories. And I was trying to find his homeostasis point. He decided to, so I recommended 2,200 so that he'd be in a 300-calorie deficit plus whatever he exercised. He ended up doing 1,500, Kev.
Heavy.
Yes.
That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. So in the last 2 weeks, Greg has officially been in a 14,000-calorie deficit, which I kind of had a mini freak out earlier. I audioed him, and I said, Greg, too fast. Way too fast. Now, he looks great, and he's lost at least 4 pounds of real weight. And then the others is water fluctuations and stuff like that. But the problem is he's wasting metabolic wiggle room. And so the only reason why I was able to decide you're going too fast is because I've calculated in advance, we're going to do this for 21 weeks. We want to lose 21 pounds. We want to lose a pound a week. He lost over 4 pounds in 2 weeks. That's too fast. It's too quick. And a lot of that is muscle, to be quite honest. It's not just fat that he's burning. And so the only reason why I know that, though, is because of this concept of systems thinking. So if you want to achieve any goal, the 4 steps to achieving any goal are simple. Number 1, you have a certain input. An input can be what you say, you think, you do, you feel, or you believe. In this analogy, let's just use actions. So if you want to lose 21 pounds in 21 weeks, one of the actions that you need to take every day is to track your caloric intake. Okay, that's one action. Now you get an output, which you measure it. Okay, so how many calories am I eating? I'm eating 1,500 calories per day. Okay, now we need to adjust. Is that too much or too little based on the scale? And so systems thinking is this idea of reverse engineering a finish line. First step, input. What actions do I need to take, or what actions do I need to stop taking? Second step, output. Am I measuring the results that I'm getting? Is it working or not working? Okay, if it's not working, why is it not working, and what do we need to adjust? If you listen to this show, you know we talk all the time about peak performance tracking. You know we talk about tracking our calories and tracking our weight and, making sure that we're losing the right amount of pounds per week and all that kind of stuff. We track our, finances. And I'll give you another example. So many of you have heard that Kevin and I have grossed in NLU over $100,000 in 3 months. Now, what we do is we measure that, we graph it, and we try to figure out, okay, where are we winning and where are we losing? What do we need to do more of and what do we need to do less of? How do we get better? But it's all based on this reverse engineered. We aren't shocked that we made $100,000 in the last 3 months because we reverse engineered that. Everything we were doing years ago was predicated on eventually getting there. And so, Kev, do me a favor and transcode all that for me.
Oh, man. When you understand how your input determines your output, when you get the output, you're not surprised. So very much what Alan said of when Greg told me the number, it didn't surprise me based on the input that he was doing. That's what I would say is, so, okay, let's do this. Alan was going to use this story, this analogy. I think this is a good one. If you think of it like a recipe, you need 1 egg, a cup of sugar, a cup of milk, a cup of butter, blah, blah, whatever it is. Those are all your inputs. When that cookie comes out, that's your output. Is it too dry? Is it falling apart? Did it burn? Is it undercooked? That is our measurement. And then we adjust before we create a new input. So yeah, depending on your awareness of how your input affects your output, from there, it's a numbers game. It really is. It's a numbers game.
Kev, what's something, you were talking to me about this in the studio. You created this, you said it was like a bodybuilder cheat code or something. Were you like wrapping bacon on a muffin sheet or something like that? What is something that you've cooked a lot?
Egg whites.
Okay. That's not helpful. Didn't you say that you you made like bacon muffins or something? I don't know. Am I making this up?
Yeah, no, not me. No.
You put egg whites in a muffin container and put them in the oven?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me about that. Talk to our listeners about that and how you did it the first time versus how you do it now. Because sometimes you put food in the microwave and it's like you try it for 6 minutes or whatever and it's like, ooh, way too much.
Yeah.
No. Let's try 3 minutes. Everything, you're trying to find the sweet spot. The input is 6 minutes. The output is overcooked food. You have to measure it and adjust. Okay, the measurement is, this is rubbery and gross because I put it in the microwave for too long. I'm going to adjust, and next time I'm not going to put it in for 6 minutes. Everybody does this, Kev.
Yeah.
Just not everybody does it in every area.
Well, that's the thing, too, is if you're thinking, oh, that's way too simple, the odds are you're probably just not super strong in one or many of these different facets of achievement. Really? Like, Alan, what would you say? You work with a lot of people. What would you say the most common miss in this wheel is? Like, what is the thing that's causing it not to roll smoothly? What's causing it to jump all over the place?
I think there are layers. I think it's time perspective. Time perspective is the issue. So in the analogy of chocolate cake, I'll use that. If Kevin and I want to cook the best chocolate cake, we can just go on Google and we can get a recipe, we can go buy the ingredients, and then we can follow the recipe, and we can get the same chocolate cake over and over and over again. The problem is that imagine that for life, with instead of one time trying to do that for every day for a year, and then every day for 10 years. And then I don't think people understand how everything compounds over time. So for example, you might know how to, everyone listening knows how to go make $20. Anyone can go make $20. Do you know how to make 20, then 40, then 80, then 160, then 320, then 640, then 1028, 1280, then, you know what I mean? And do you know how to scale that? Then do you know how to delegate and sustain it? Then do you know how to create? So it's not like you're just making chocolate cake. It is today. But do you know what that chocolate cake compounds into over the years and decades later? I think that's where people get tripped up. And if you're only thinking of this week, you're not gonna ignite the compound effect. You can't. If you can only think 7 days out, you can only ignite the compound effect of 7 days. But 70 days isn't even that much in my perspective. Like 7 days, 70 days, 700 days, until you get to the 700-day reverse engineer. Like, so for example, I'll bring this down to earth for you. Kev, we grossed $100,000 in 3 months. I knew that would happen 700 days ago. That what we were doing 700 days ago, I swear to God, was predicated on that.
Yeah.
But that's the problem, right? The recipe of chocolate cake is, let's go buy the ingredients and put it in the oven and we'll have chocolate cake tonight. I think people get tripped up because you don't get to eat your chocolate cake until 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now.
Hi everyone, my name is Karishma and I completed Next Level University Group Coaching, and it was just such an incredible experience that I know is going to stick with me for the rest of my life. And I just want to share 2 main reasons with you why I highly recommend that you sign up for it if you're thinking about it. The first would be that the environment within the Next Level Group Coaching sessions is just super safe and super comforting. You will be able to feel like you belong in these sessions, which I just think is definitely the number one reason why I would recommend it for anyone, is I just felt like Kevin and Alan did such an amazing job making everyone feel like they had a place there. The second thing is you will walk out of there with the most incredible tool ever. So I personally think that the peak performance tracker that Kevin and Alan taught us about is the best tool that you could be using if you're someone with goals. I just feel like I wake up every morning excited to accomplish the habits and just be closer and closer each day to achieving my goals. Like I said, if you're thinking about it, don't think anymore, just do it, just sign up, you won't regret it. Thanks for listening.
I think so many people skip the first step of the input, especially if you're somebody out there who has a lack of belief, a lack of confidence. What happens is you don't take the first step. And I think about the first speech I ever gave. The first speech I ever gave was in front of 50 people or 45 people, and I prepped it and I did it. I think I did it 4 or 5 times with a timer. I stood up in the living room and presented it like I was going to present it. And it went really well, all things considered. I think for a first speech I've ever given, I think I did better than I expected. But my input was the speech. My output was the result. The measurement was, okay, how did I do? What could I have done better? Did I rely too much on my PowerPoint? Did I capture the audience? I don't really know. And then I adjusted for the second one. But this is the thing. If you have a speech, the first one, and it goes horribly wrong, you're only focused on the input, the output, and the measurement. When you stop taking action, you stop the opportunity to adjust and re-input. And I think that's where so many people make the mistake. I've had so many conversations with podcasters who stop podcasting because they do the input, they get the output, the measurement is not what they expected, they don't readjust and keep going. So the only way to improve something is to take action first. You cannot improve something that does not exist yet. You cannot achieve a goal that you do not take action on because you don't know where you stand in the grand scheme of things. Imagine going into every single opportunity that you have, knowing that you have an opportunity to learn how to make it better next time. I've said this before, Alan, and you gave me a good reframe for people to make sure that they don't fall into this trap. But athletes have a short memory. When a somebody in football throws an interception, or a baseball player misses a ground ball, or a soccer player misses the net, they have a short memory. They realize that their input got them this output, they measure it, and then they take another shot. Then they adjust and they take another shot. They adjust and they take another shot. Every single jeffing you have is an opportunity for you to do better next time. And you just have to have that perspective of, well, if you quit, it's going to be a sour taste in your mouth and you're never going to do it again. Get out there and do something that's just outside of your learning zone. Just outside. And understand that it's probably, you might screw it up, but if you screw it up, that means you can do it a little bit better next time forever. This podcast is living proof of that. 922 times we have made mistakes. Every single episode we make mistakes. Every single episode. But okay, great. This is the analogy, and then that'll be it. Or the example. Right now, Alan and I are inputting. We are recording this episode in this moment. This is live for Alan and I. I am present. I am in flow. Alan is present. Alan is in flow. The output is what you will hear. When you listen to the episode, that is the output. That is what we did. I will listen back to this episode, and that is me measuring it. And then I will say, you know what? That point didn't land, Alan, or Kev, you should have done better here. That is me adjusting. Tomorrow, when we record the next one, cycle starts over again. So the person who does the most reps with this mindset will achieve a higher, more successful goal in the long run.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Well said, Kev. That landed at the tail end. This is a difficult concept to explain, but it's so important. Just remember, the person who, let's say you Google chocolate cake recipe, someone had to create that, and they had to fail forward in order to create it, right? There are no 5 quick steps to your customized dream life. There are principles that you can follow that can help you learn your own recipe, because not everybody likes the same chocolate cake. Your life is different than Kevin and I's. There are principles that apply to all of us, but the way in which maybe you want 2 eggs instead of 1, or maybe you want, to put it in the oven a little longer because me and Kevin, maybe we like our cake a little bit droopier or whatever. The point that I'm making is that until you learn this way of thinking, you're only ever going to be able to replicate sort of cookie cutter versions of other people's recipes. And this is your own unique, fulfilling life. So learn this process and you can achieve anything you want given enough time. Given enough time is the key. And again, within reason, right? Okay. So the last takeaway that I have for this is a question. Are you doing systems thinking? This is Strategy Saturday. Look at the digital asset, download it below at the link, and tell me, are you actually doing this? And more importantly, let's say this. Where are you doing this well? Where are you doing systems thinking and adjusting and measuring and inputs and outputs? Remember, the outputs that you want, the car, the good body, the amazing career, the fulfilling relationship, the home, the beach house, those are outputs, not inputs. Okay? That's only 1/4 of the equation. You can't just think about dream homes and have them just suddenly manifest. You have to do the entire equation. So where are you doing this equation well? I guarantee you wherever you are doing it well, whatever you answer, you have more results in that arena, for sure. And then where are you not doing this well? Where are you expecting great outputs without measuring, adjusting, and focusing on great inputs?
One of the things we talked about heavily in here, besides chocolate cake, is recipes. Recipes for success. One of the main ingredients to success and the recipe for success is learning. And making sure you're learning from people who have created the recipe that you're trying to replicate. That is exactly why we created our free course. It's years of self-improvement, years of personal development that Alan and I have accumulated, whether it was free, whether it was from mentors behind the scenes, whether it was paid for. It's the things that we think will help you the most. No matter where you are in the journey, maybe you know some of what we're going to talk about. It's going to be a friendly reminder. Maybe you have been working on it and you need a little extra kick in the butt of, you know what, my community just isn't leveling me up as much as I need them to. Okay, cool. We're going to give you tactics and deeper understandings on how to do that. Again, totally free. That's it. Totally free. We don't want your money. We just want to help you when it comes to that. I wanted to charge for it. Alan wouldn't let me. So that's, I guess he had final say. Click the link in the show notes and you can have it. You can download it, take it at your own pace. There's worksheets. You can share it with your friends, whatever you want to do. Again, if you're committed to growth and you haven't downloaded that yet, you're missing out.
There's something different about a course where there's actual worksheets and it's a deeper dive into these principles. So yeah, download that. If you've ever played Mario Kart before and you know that you get one of those mushrooms that acts as a booster, and if you get that golden mushroom that you can just keep hammering that booster over and over and over again, that's what we want group coaching to be. Group 6 opens on April 19th. It's a team of you and 9 other individuals. You will have a tight-knit private community in WhatsApp, 6 bi-weekly coaching sessions with Kevin and myself. Greg will be with you as an assistant coach every step of the way. He's been through group coaching 3 separate times. You're also going to get to use our app, Optimal, where you can track your habits as a team. You will achieve more in that 90 days than you ever have before. And right now, if you go to nextleveluniverse.com, it's actually a link in the show notes. It's a link in the show notes. You'll see a video with all the information that you need. You can sign up and you can lock your spot. So we already have 3 spots fully locked. There's an additional 7 people that have reached out, verbal yes, and we actually have Greg reaching out to them now. But lock the spot immediately because we're also going to talk about this at Next Level Live. For $75 for 6 months, all you need to do is pay the first $75 and your spot's completely locked. You'll get emailed by us with all the information that you need. You'll get added to the WhatsApp group, which I actually created today, Kev. And join us. Group 6 is going to be the most well-polished product we've ever created in the group coaching space. We've already graduated 50 other people. And if you're on the fence, DM myself or Kevin. I will give you the Instagram handles of people that have been through this process before, and they can tell you what it's like, what their experience was, and everything in between.
Next Level Nation, as always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. If you would be so kind to leave us a review, we have a link in the show notes for that as well. At NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out.